All right, what's going on, everybody? As you all know, I am a huge sucker for REITs. I love REITs, man. I want REITs in my sheets, all right? I'm a real estate investment trust freak show, all right? Let's get to it. Let me first get streamed. This is the first time I've done a horizontal live stream in a while. It's been a while since I've done a horizontal one. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I doing horizontal? Well, I wanted to do some more long-form videos, but I figured it's easier and better to do live videos. I could chat with the audience a little bit better. It's just more fun. I just have a better time doing it. And, I think probably get more subscribers doing this than anything else. But I'm still going to do vertical, don't get me wrong. But we're talking about today. Give me a second here. Oh, it's coming up. It's showing up. That's awesome. It's a little too big. Hold on. Trying to determine if that's the right size. I think it'll be good. This is an experimental episode more than anything, but we're going to go over that top 20 list here in just a second. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe and like. Super chats are read first. That's a big deal. Want to mention that first. And foremost, there's a couple things I got to do. I'm going to pull up the list real quick, but I got to change a couple settings in the old Nightbot TV. We're kind of rearranging a few things on the channel, just a smidgen. Not too much. Very basic shit. We're not doing anything too crazy. Doing a couple modifications. All right, so I had to get Nightbot all set up real quick. Sorry about that, you guys. Usually we're a lot faster at getting things squared away, but it's nice to be able to do the horizontal live streams, which I have not done in a while, and I want to apologize. Now, it's not that I'm trying to neglect anything. Trust me. On the contraire. I love doing this stuff. I really do. See. I think that should be fine. Yeah, that'll be good. All right, so I'm testing out a longer message. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. All right, so let's go over this top 20 list. And, we're doing horizontal streams again. I never thought I'd see the day. No, it's not that I don't like doing horizontal streams. In fact, on the contraire, I do enjoy doing these. These are something that I've been missing a bit. Because, one, you don't get a flood of people, and it's kind of more... I wouldn't say exclusive by any means, but it feels more personal. You know, in the vertical ones, you get kind of a smorgasbord of people, and you just don't really know what to expect sometimes. Having said that, though, vertical lives are still going to be the main format of this show, but instead of me doing pre-recorded videos like I've been doing, I'm going to try to do member only live streams as well that are in this horizontal view. At least make the attempt on it. Here we go. Automatic. It's good to have everybody here, though. I want to see what the show looks like on the mobile. See what it looks like real quick, and then we'll go over our everything. everybody here, though. I want to see what the show looks like on the mobile. It's going to take a few seconds. All right. So it is looking good on the live stream and everything. That's fantastic. I'm going to put this in more in the center of the screen. There we go. Okay. So we're more centered on there. Nice. So yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. We have 6 minutes in. We're troubleshooting the live. But I decided live is better. I think doing live videos would be a little bit better, at least horizontal ones, because I figure you can make more long-form ones that are watched a little bit later on. So these are my top 20 REITs overall, and let's get to it. So at number one, we're just going to start from the best to the worst. All of these are really good in my opinion, so none of them are really that bad. Even if they make the bottom of this list, they're still in the upper echelon. So I want to start out with Realty Income, ticker symbol O. It's a net lease monthly dividend icon, diversified tenants, and ultra long leases, which is really nice. So Realty Income, while it is overvalued right now in the market, for sure, I wouldn't want to, me personally, it's still the best REIT out there, so it's tough not to want to buy more, but I do have a very limited amount of shares that I own of Realty Income, mainly because I'm really spread out. I don't just own Realty Income, I own a lot of different REITs, which means I'm pretty diversified across the real estate sector, if we're going to be really honest. I do prefer REITs over regular real estate, I just want to make that very clear. My experience in traditional real estate is pretty limited, but when you own these companies, man, you're owning the cash flows. You're an owner. The moment you own at least one share of Realty Income, you're an owner, even if you're a minority shareholder. So it's a huge deal, and I think it needs to be discussed or at least mentioned a little bit more overall. At number two, we have Prologis, PLD, which is an industrial one. Global logistics leader, riding e-commerce and supply chain demand. It's one of the big ones. American Tower, AMT. Basically, it's just towers, like mission critical wireless infrastructure with inflation-linked escalators. So overall, it's basically it's owning the necessary stuff, necessary towers, everything like that. If that all makes sense. So American Tower is a good one to hold, in my opinion. These are all, by the way, none of this is financial advice. All of it is just my personal opinion, and that's it. Make sure you do your due diligence and talk to a financial advisor. I'm not promoting any of these. This is all for educational, entertainment purposes only, and they're just simply one man's opinion, and that's about it. Equinix, EQIX, data. It's basically data centers like interconnection. It's like an interconnection moat. There's hyperscale plus enterprise mix worldwide. It's a big deal. Data centers are a big deal. So owning Equinix is one of my favorite ones to own, just because I want that exposure to the data centers. I want the rent because data centers are going to keep getting more popular. So Equinix is not going away. It's not going away anytime soon, man. My fifth favorite is Public Storage. Now, ticker symbol's PSA. It's a self-storage REIT. It's a dominant brand. It's got high margins. It's basically recession-resilient demand. So when times get tough, people do like to store their stuff because maybe they're moving a lot. Maybe they got to move into a smaller house because the economy's crappy, that sort of thing. Simon Property Group, SPG, malls and outlets, Class A retail, Fortress balance. You still got Fortress balance sheet, strong FFO recovery for sure. Pretty solid, man. And then we got at number 7, we got AvalonBay, which is a ticker symbol AVB. These are apartments, like we're talking about like coastal Class A portfolio with best in class operations, straight up. At number 8, and this is gonna be a very brief list. This is not gonna like take forever. I do care about your guys' time here. Number 8, we have Essex Property Trust, which is ESS. These are apartments. West Coast supply constraints support long-term NOI growth. So there's a big deal to that. Then we got Welltower, which is WELL for the ticker symbol, which is healthcare, senior housing, the scaled operator platform, an aging demographics tailwind. So it's like when you own Welltower, you're owning the senior housing. You're an owner in that sector. And one of the reasons why I like to have a well-diversified portfolio of REITs is because I want to be exposed to all the different types of real estate out there, not just one type. As much as I love Realty Income, most of it's commercial, right? Just simply commercial, like retailers, that sort of thing that they lease out to. But I want to be exposed to things like Prologis, which is an industrial one, or American Towers, which gives me, exposure to the real estate where the like cell towers are, mission critical, like wireless infrastructure for the government, that sort of thing. Equinix for data centers. I want to be exposed to every sector of real estate because if I'm not, I might be missing out on something. Or, even if I don't understand that sector, I still think it's good to have the real estate, right? If you can kind of figure out where society's going, you could figure out what you need to start at least exposing yourself to, right? But yeah, AvalonBay is an incredible one because it leases out apartments to people. Like I said, it's a coastal Class A portfolio with best-in-class operations. So a lot of their real estate is coastal based, which is fantastic, by the way. I wonder if AvalonBay owns a lot of properties here on the coast of Oregon. I'll have to look into that. Essex Property Trust is ESS. Apartments, basically West Coast supply constraints do support long-term NOI. I already said that. Sorry about that. Welltower, we talked about that one already. Sorry about that. I'm repeating myself. I got goldfish memory today. Ventas, VTR. It's healthcare. It's a diversified senior housing, MOBs, and life science exposure. So, yeah, honestly, real estate that's used by health providers and stuff like that, it's a big deal. Like, you're winning on all counts when that happens. I'm actually surprised more people don't invest in that way. I think more people need to diversify their portfolios is what I'm saying, and stay exposed to all the different sectors out there, right? Chris Gun3 says Garza during the day is way better than Garza after midnight. Dude, I'm like after midnight, man. It gets a little too sexy for people to handle, I think. After midnight, gonna let it all hang out. All right, I'll finish up this list, and then we'll get to the comments for the horizontal lives. I do want to start making horizontal lives a thing again for this channel. I figure this show should just be a live streaming channel for the most part. I've kind of surrendered the idea that I should do pre-recorded videos as much as I want to. As much as I want to start doing more pre-recorded videos, I just think it's better to go for the horizontal ones, because the horizontal lives stay. They're very researchable for people, so I think it's just better for me to stick to these types of streams. I was trying to do a thumbnail for this episode, but that failed. I'm drinking some decaf coffee right now. All right, let's finish off this list. All right, so at number 11 is Digital Realty, which is ticker symbol DLR. So it's basically just data centers. You get a global footprint. It's got sticky customers and long leases, which is nice. So huge advantages there to having Digital Realty, DLR. And then we got in number 12, just because, like I said, data centers, the more data center REITs that I have, the more comfortable I feel, because I just know that this is such an expansive sector. And I think it's got a lot more room to grow. And if people don't see what I'm seeing, that's their loss, but it's whatever. So we got at number 12, we got Extra Space Storage. This is another one I particularly love because I love self-storage REITs. It's a ticker symbol EXR. So basically, it's self-storage consolidation machine with savvy revenue management is one of the main reasons, right? Self-storage is just a win-win majority of the time, as long as everything is ran well in the company. From what I've been able to tell, is managed properly, and the cash flows are endless. I love cash flow. If it is a company that has established cash flows, I'm all in. I love self-storage REITs. I love data center REITs. I love healthcare ones, apartment ones, you name it. I'll take all of them. I want exposure to every single freaking REIT that I can, right? I love REITs. Like, I have one share of every single REIT that I can get my grubby hands on. And then we got, at number 13, we got Mid-America Apartment, MAA Apartments. It's kind of a Sunbelt focus, strong balance sheet, steady rent growth over time. So overall, it keeps up with inflation pretty well in my experience. And then we got WP Carey at number 14, which is ticker symbol WPC. Net lease, CPI linked escalators, and diversified. It's mostly an industrial footprint, that sort of thing. So it's a win-win, in my opinion. By the way, like I said, I got to keep mentioning this, not financial advice. Talk to a financial advisor. That's the most important thing I could always mention every time. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. So just talk to a financial advisor about these before taking any action. Let's see. And number 15, National Retail Properties, NNN. So this is one that I love. I have this in my portfolio as well. I have all these in my portfolio. At least I think I do. I should still have all these in my portfolio. If not, I'm at least exposed to them in some degree from the REIT ETFs that I also own. So it's a win-win either way. It's a conservative underwriting and a decades-long dividend record. It's just unbelievable. It's a net lease REIT, which means that it's a triple net lease, which is probably why they call it triple N. But triple net lease basically is very simple. It's the tenant pays for basically everything. Pays for upgrades, pays for everything. So not only do they pay rent, they have to maintain it, they have to do all sorts of stuff. So it's not on the company to do anything about that. I love the cash flows for this company as well. I love the cash flows for all the REITs that I have. I'm a big fan. I love the dividend payouts. I love the consistency of the dividend payouts as well, and I love the dividend growth over time. And you all know I'm a dividend freak, but I'm also a freak when it comes to diversification. So I want to be exposed to all the different REITs out there, at least as many as I can, because you never know. You just never know. Then we got Agree Realty, which is ADC, net lease. It's investment grade, necessity-based retail, and ground lease strategy. Triple net lease, baby. I got to agree with Agree Realty, man. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we have, the better. We're trying to really up that subscriber count. to the best of our ability, at least from what we can do. Let's see here. What else do we got? What else do we got, everybody? Ooh. Alexandria Real Estate, ARE, Life Science, irreplaceable lab campuses near top research clusters. Let's see. Host hotels. Oh, I already went over. Wait. So Alexandria Real Estate, this is one that I own. They've been kind of... I like them. I love this one. But their earnings have been a little shaky lately. But this is one of the reasons why I love diversification. So even if one is faltering, the others back it up, essentially. And as long as you're diversified in a way where you're exposed to quality companies, that's the most important thing. So I'm invested in a lot of quality REITs. I love publicly traded REITs quite a bit, and I think that a lot of them get overlooked because they're not the sexiest investment. They're not the investments that are promising 10x results. You know, they don't overpromise. They do deliver, though, which is why I love these REITs. Yeah, anybody who hates on REITs, though, I still don't get it. I don't understand the hate behind the hatred of REITs. I've seen some people trash on them, and it's like, okay, they're not perfect. Don't get me wrong. But they're good. Like, for instance, my investments in REITs make it to where I don't have to deal with tenants. I can still have that real estate exposure that I want without having to deal with the properties. The properties are dealt with by the people that management hires, right? So as long as it's a well-managed REIT, as long as they do what they need to do, yeah, the REITs will do just fine. But yeah, as long as the REITs are not being run into the ground, that's the most important thing. But yeah, for the most part, I just stay diversified. It's really the key. The more diversified you are, the better. And yeah, I just love the cash flows, man. I'm all about the cash flows. We're going to finish this list here in just a second. Before we finish the list, does anybody have any questions in the chat? Let's see. There is something I got to do real quick, you guys. Hold on. Chris is saying stream Elon Rogan once you finish your list. I don't know if I'm feeling that right now. I mean, maybe. I was thinking about watching it on my own time, though, but I might react to it. I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll react to it later on during one of the vertical live streams or something like that. All I know is YouTube can be kind of finicky. I try not to react to too many videos because as much as I like being kind of a reaction channel from time to time, I mean, I guess I could copy Asmund Gould. It's worked out for him, you know. So, who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Just be patient with me on this one. I'm indecisive right now. Just have a little patience. Still hurting from above. I'm lost. I'm feeling your frustration. Invitation Homes is at number 19, by the way. This one's ticker symbol INVH. Single-family rentals, scale tech-enabled ops, and durable suburban demand. Let's see. Give me one more second, everybody. Still trying to fix a couple things here. But yeah, and for the last one, by the way, we're just going to go over Kimco Realty, which is KIM. So it's a grocery anchored retail. It's a necessity-based centers with resilient foot traffic, essentially. I'm also going to make sure that this entire list is in the description of the video, just in case anybody doesn't really want to go through the whole video. All I ask is if you do look at the description only, make sure you like the video. That sort of thing. It's important. More likes, the better. There we go. So I was able to put the favorite REIT list in the description. Yeah, just got to make life a little easier for everybody. Oh, man. So I was thinking I still need to do more thumbnail generation for sure. After midnight, I want to let it all hang out. I want to experiment and try to make a thumbnail real quick in Chat GPT. In my hands again, I have semen in my ass, on my penis. Yeah, I think I prefer doing horizontal live streams over like pre-recorded videos because one, there is an expectation of editing, in a pre-recorded, whereas in a live stream, I could do these kind of lists, and if I mess up, it's a live stream, so it doesn't really matter. Let's take a look at the questions real quick. Give me just a few seconds. Let's see. Chris is saying, I have a question. Let's see. My mom is getting up in age, and I'll soon take control of the properties. Should I put money in them and to rent out? My mom said to eventually wash my hands of them, as she is seeing a decline in humans in general. So that's a very good question. That's a big decision. It depends on how much of a tolerance you have for real estate, I guess. You know, I'm not going to tell you should keep them or get rid of them. It's a tough one. But if you feel like you should put money and work into them, real estate is a good asset. If you feel like you have the temperament for it. I would talk to a few real estate people, right? I would actually go to the different realtors in town and be like, hey, do you got a minute? I got some properties and I want some opinions. You know, for instance, I know for a fact I understand the stock market pretty well. But I will admit, when it comes to real estate itself and owning actual real estate, the closest thing I got to that are my REITs. And honestly, that just diversifies the heck out of me. So my goal is to get diversified through real estate. I will admit, when you own a limited amount of properties, that makes it a little more difficult. So it's tricky. It's very, very tricky. So I can't give advice, obviously. I can give an opinion. I would talk to an expert in real estate. I would talk to I would call up or just walk into a few real estate offices and be like, look, I'm a little lost. You know, write down some of the questions that you have and see if they're willing to answer those questions. Because here's the thing, man. If you're getting real estate, you could sell the real estate and then invest the money in other assets. That's one option, but I don't know if that should be the option for you. I just don't know your situation that well. You know. But I do see where your mom's coming from on this one too. Real estate can be a bit of a burden. You have a lot to deal with. There's legal ramifications. One of the reasons I prefer REITs over anything and not being an actual landlord is because, well, I don't have to deal with the tenants. My main focus is the REITs pay me. I get a dividend because I'm a shareholder. I'm an owner in the REITs. Whereas then now I could focus on other adventures. Like I could focus on my YouTube channel, which honestly I feel is a form of media real estate that I can't let go of. And I want to keep doing it. Because when I do make, I won't say, you know, as I'm building an empire right now, and it matters, man. It matters. Give me a few seconds, though. I'm creating a Creating a little bit of a thumbnail. One moment. But yeah, I hope my answer helped in some way, Chris. Because, like, I understand her concern about the decline of humanity, for sure. And real estate can be a real burden, especially if most of your net worth is tied up in very small amounts of real estate. That could be a problem, in my mind, in my opinion. The Enterer is saying at Chris Guthrie, it is not a good idea to de-invest in real estate because you have a low view of others. Maybe. Look, if you're looking, here's the thing. If you're an investor looking for diversification, it is tough to have all your net worth tied into a very small amount of real estate. One of the reasons why I feel very secure as an investor is because I'm invested in just about everything. I have my foot in a lot of different pots. I have my foot in a lot of different S&P 500 companies. I'm exposed to a ton of different real estate investment trusts. And I can sleep soundly at night, knowing that I'm so diversified that I'm preserving my wealth to the nth degree. I also swing trade the VT, by the way. So while I'm exposed to everything else through other ETFs that also expose me to international companies, you name it, I'm also just exposed across the board to everything you can imagine. And swing trading the VT is also a nice little income boost for the portfolio. So it's another way to have a little bit of extra income for the portfolio. Chris says, I got a secondhand view of the depths people will go to game an 85-year-old woman with one leg. Yeah. It's sad. There are sharks out there who will try to game somebody and will try to take advantage of somebody. There are just shitty people. And I'm not a very spiritual person, I guess you could say. I'm not really a religious person, I guess you could say. I feel like a spiritual being at the very least, but, I pray for I pray for those people's well-being, that they can at least see the error of their ways and stop. People who are trying to scam out of old people, I'm not a big fan of old people. But, I want old people to live their glory years, I want them to live their glory years. And they deserve to, But, yeah, scamming old people, man, that just feels wrong. It feels wrong. Give me 1 second, folks. Let me see here. Love my coffee, man, but no, I get it though. And here's the thing, man. One of the reasons why I'm such an avid investor and exposed to different sectors of the markets, and also not only that, I'm not just exposed to stocks, by the way. I'm exposed to other asset classes. So equities is just one part of the game. The other part of the game is bonds. I'm not a big fan of bonds, though, because they're not very inflation-proof for the most part, but I accept them into my portfolio. I love gold and silver. I think those are fantastic. I think what is a scam, though, I think that cryptocurrency in all shapes and sizes is a scam. And people who don't believe me on that, that's on you. I think that crypto might be the biggest scam. I think crypto is a scam to young people. You know how like old people get scammed over the phone to give out like their credit card information? Well, young people have been brainwashed into thinking that cryptocurrency is actually money, is actually a replacement for currency. Don't get me wrong, physical currency in its current form is bullshit. I think that the dollar and Bitcoin share one common trait. They're both fiat. They're both worthless. They're not backed by a single friggin' thing. So that's important to consider. Chris is wondering, why aren't you drinking out of a Bitastic coffee cup? Are you talking about those coffee cups that I sell on my Teespring account, which I never checked that, by the way. Maybe I probably made a few sales and don't even know it on Teespring, but yeah, I don't own any of my own merchandise that I promote. I barely even promote that shit. It's just some print-on-demand crap, and I think it's great. I love print-on-demand. I personally think print-on-demand is incredible. Anybody who doesn't can suck my... Oh. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. I'm not drinking out of my signature mug, dude. I messed up, bro. Give me 1 second, folks. I gotta check something real quick. There's a program that I use quite frequently. It's a beautiful program. I like to resize my shit. I got to resize and resample all in my butthole. Oh, do you think I'm sexy? 'Cause I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. Whoa, and I am beautiful in every single way. Oh, I gotta pee. My God. Give me 1 moment, folks. I gotta take a piss. Let's see. Feels good to do a horizontal live stream, though, like this. This is kind of entertaining. Did you see Jaden injury? That elbow looked... Oh, I did not see the footage of that injury. I don't know if I want to, but I'll probably end up seeing it somehow if I go on, like, Twitter. But, yeah, so Jaden Daniels, I think he's out for the rest of the season, if I heard that one correctly. It's wild the amount of injuries that are taking people out, I mean, in the NFL. I got lucky in fantasy football, if we're going to be honest. I got damn lucky in that. I ended up getting like a lot of really good players. Luckily, players that didn't get injured at the very least, which is a solid thing. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and like the stream if possible. We need more likes. We need more subscribes. The YouTube algorithm's probably weirded out right now because normally I don't really do horizontal streams, but I wanted to do more lives. I was like, F it. Why not do more live streams? Because it's like, what do I got to lose? Even the horizontal ones. I really do enjoy doing the horizontal streams, though. Now that I got Stream Chat Ninja configured on both OBS and Streamlabs OBS, so I use Streamlabs OBS to do the vertical lives, and I use regular standard OBS to do the horizontal lives and pre-recordeds and all that stuff. So it's a big deal. I should probably upload a few vids. But yeah, I haven't actually taken a look at that footage. I don't know if I really want to, though. I hate looking at people getting injured, man. It's a shitty thing, dude. I don't know what it is. It's just like, ooh. When I see something like that, man, I get all like grossed out. I'm like, fuck that, dude. My apologies. The frame rates are going to drop a little bit. Chris says we all have ADHD now. We need another stimulus outside of your money knowledge. Well, I would say that I have asset knowledge. I have an understanding that accumulating assets is a big deal. But yeah. I hope whatever ADHD that I have is not rubbing off on people, because I feel like sometimes I'm all back and forth on all sorts of crap. Sorry, I was uploading a short video and that actually kind of messed a few things up, so my bad. We're back to normal now. All right. I think the stream health should be good. My stream... Yeah, I was going to say, overall, I want people to, realize their potential, that investing is an important aspect of life. I really firmly believe this. Like, if there's one thing I can say, I think that my portfolio is probably one of the safest. I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit, quite a bit, in front of all you guys. I'm the GOAT, dude. I'm the GOAT. Stream is healthy again, yes. But yeah, overall, I mean, like, with everything that I do on this channel, we keep it very simple. Like I said, one of my ways for getting extra money, surprisingly, is just swing trading. My swing trading that I do in my Robinhood app, it's a mixture of things in Robinhood. I got long-term holdings, but I also got 2 ETFs that I consistently swing trade because it's just the way I do it. I love swing trading, man. It's probably the best thing a man could do is swing trade, especially a diversified product. Now, obviously, that's not financial advice. Talk to a bloody financial advisor, for God's sakes. But it feels good to have a live setup again. You know what I mean? It feels good to be doing this live on OBS and horizontal. Now, this is not going to be a thing that happens all the time. But I will, definitely consider doing this more often. Because I feel like I can get I feel like I could say a lot of things in these types of live videos because the audience is not so abundant and it's not like overpowering the chat. Because right now we just got Chris, and then we had the enterer for a little bit. Yeah, it just makes it a little easier. I still prefer OBS naturally, but I do admit Streamlabs OBS definitely has a few extra perks that I've come to appreciate. I realized I had this going on in the background. Probably was adding a little too much noise in the background, but that's all right. I don't expect these videos to be perfect. Probably do a vertical live stream here in a little bit, though. Might even try something a little bit new. Yeah, I'm glad I put a thumbnail on there just now. It is a little bit different doing a horizontal stream because I've done so many vertical streams, you guys. It's crazy. And I will admit most of the audience comes from the vertical stream format, without a doubt. But it's fun to entertain you guys. I really do enjoy the entertainment aspect of this. Just, really having a fun time with all of you. And you guys make the experience that much more enjoyable. But yeah, I have to come to face the facts that people are watching on horizontal. No, sorry. People are watching on vertical now. More than ever. And that's just an aspect of this I gotta accept, man. I'm still gonna do, like I said, I'm still gonna do these horizontal videos from time to time. But at this rate, I mean, I definitely have the best success on vertical lives. That is for sure. It's just the truth. Well, so I guess we'll do a little bit of a Q&A. Does anybody have any questions or questions about the REIT list or just in general? Should REITs be a part of your portfolio? I mean, I personally say yes, but if anybody says no, let me know. Or yes. I mean, I'm open to hearing suggestions. One of the reasons I like REITs, though, is the diversification factor. I believe that the more diversified you are, the better. The more protected you are against catastrophe. Not only should you be invested in real estate, you should be invested in everything that you can be. And in today's era, in today's age, you can be invested in anything you want. You could be invested into the whole U.S. and international markets. Not the whole, but what I mean, the majority. With one or two simple ETFs. So one ETF, if you want to own the entire world, is the VT, which is the Vanguard Total World Index. Now, another combination you could do if you want to control the weighting of international versus U.S., you can have the VX US, which is the international total international stock market. And then on the other token, you can have the VTI, which is the entire U.S. stock market. And if you want, you can have both of those ETFs in your portfolio, call it a day, and then weight your portfolio accordingly with those two ETFs. That's totally your call at the end of the day. There's other ETFs besides the Vanguard ones, though. Those are just examples. I don't not condone. I don't endorse any ETFs. These are just the ones that I personally like. And, talk to a financial advisor. The Major General says, I love the idea of REITs, but I would be cautious with commercial real estate. Oh. Is there a REIT for billboards? Really? The real estate for billboards. Owning the real estate where billboards are placed. Interesting. That would be some good cash flows, man. Some incredible cash flows, if anything. Hell yeah. I'm getting kind of sprung just thinking about it, bro. Oh, we got a high wind warning. Major General says I used to have a REIT for cell phone towers too. Yes. What was it? We just had it in the list. One was Welltower. That's one of them. Oh no, Welltower I think was one of them. Let me make sure. I'm double checking my list here. No, American Tower. My apologies. American Tower is one of them. Welltower is. That one's not. You think Welltower would actually be more of a cell phone tower one, but it's actually for like aging demographics and senior housing and stuff like that. But overall, American Tower is a really, really good one. Critical wireless infrastructure, and yeah, it's good. There's a few other ones that I probably failed to mention on here, but American Tower is definitely the GOAT in my opinion. Talk to a financial advisor, obviously. But yeah, the top 20 list, I'll even go over the ticker symbols one more time. So just in case anybody missed the list earlier, I can at least go over the tickers real quick. So earlier I did O, which is Realty Income. That made number one on the list. Even though Realty Income's overvalued, it's still probably the most high quality REIT of them all. Plus, I do love that monthly dividend, and Realty Income is one that I like to buy on the dip. PLD, which is Prologis, and then at number 3, we got American Tower, which is AMT. Number 4, we have let's do ticker symbol, and I'll do the name. So at number 4, we have EQIX, which is Equinix. And then number 5, we have PSA, which is Public Storage. At number 6, we have SPG, which is Simon Property Group. And number 7, we have AVB, which is AvalonBay. At number 8, we have ESS, Essex Property Trust. At number 9, we have Welltower. And number 10, we have VTR, which is Ventas. Number 11, we have DLR, which is Digital Realty. At number 12, we have EXR, which is Extra Space Storage. At number 13, we have not MMA. We have ticker symbol MAA, Mid America Apartment. At number 14, we have WPC, which is WP Carey. Number 15, we have NNN, triple N basically, National Retail Properties. At number 16, we have ADC, Agree Realty. At number 17, we have ARE, Alexandria Real Estate. At number 18, we have HST, which is Host Hotels and Resorts. Number 19, we have INVH, which is Invitation Homes. Number 20, we have Kimco Realty, which is KIM for the ticker. Oh, thank you so much, Major General. So the Major General just gifted a channel membership. I want to thank you for the gifting. You gifted that to Zach, Backpacking Around the World. Received a gift membership from the Major General. Hell yeah, dude. That's freaking pimp, dude. So you're asking, so the Major General gave a $2 super chat, which I really appreciate that, by the way. Let me give you a love on that one and a like. The Major General is asking, is there an index ETF for REITs? In fact, there is. Let me pull those up real quick because I don't know the ticker symbols offhand. But there are REIT ETFs. Let's see, best REIT ETFs. I don't own all of them, but here's the reason I don't own a lot of ETFs that have REITs in them. And the reason for that is because I don't like the expense ratios. The expense ratios kind of bug me a little bit. But here are some of the best REITs. Some of the best REIT ETFs, I should say. Now, these have fairly low expense ratios. I'll give them props. But not all of them are some of them piss me off with their expense ratios. But at the end of the day, it's not that bad either. Okay, so the first one I'll mention is the Schwab US REIT ETF, which is SCHH. Has an expense ratio of 0.07%. It is the most cost-effective option, focusing strictly on equity REITs and excluding non-REIT real estate companies and mortgage REITs, offering a pure play on property operations. So I would admit SCHH is a pretty darn good one. That is one I have in my portfolio. Another one is XLRE, and that's Real Estate Select Sector Spider Fund, which has a 0.08% expense ratio. It offers a highly concentrated exposure to the real estate sector within the S&P 500, making it ideal for investors seeking targeted exposure to large cap real estate names like Prologis and American Tower Corp. I think last time I checked, I think I own all 5 of these. I have at least one share of all 5 of these ETFs. I'll have to double check my portfolio, though. I think I might not have the Fidelity one, but I'll double check that one. But Fidelity MSCI Real Estate ETF, which is FREL, expense ratio 0.08%. It tracks a broad index of U.S. real estate companies with a very low expense ratio, offering a strong balance of diversification. And then there's the iShares Core US REIT ETF, and that's USRT, which is 0.08% for the expense ratio. It's a low-cost diversified fund that has shown strong 5-year performances with rules to prevent over-concentration in a few holdings. Then we got the Vanguard Real Estate ETF, which is VNQ, 0.12% for the expense ratio, the largest and most popular REIT ETF by total assets, offering broad diversification across the U.S. real estate market, suitable as a core holding in a retirement-focused portfolio. Hell yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Yeah, well, here's the thing, man. It doesn't you can make your own index. I'm not recommending anybody do that, by the way. I recommend talking to a financial advisor. All this is for entertainment and educational purposes only, not financial advice. But yeah, I mean, look, I do read a lot, and I do try to find the best REITs to hold for the long term on my own. That's for sure. But yeah, some of these expense ratios aren't too bad. And honestly, even though I have a lot of individual REITs, I also own REIT ETFs. Why do I do it? Because each REIT ETF pays a dividend at a different time. Each REIT that I own pays a dividend at a different time during the quarter. It's just a way of spreading out my risk, is another way to put it. And I don't really go all in on anything. Like, that's the one thing you got to learn about me. I'm not, people say you got to be all in. No. You got to invest, but you don't need to be all in on one thing. I think that's stupid. That's one of the things. I hate over concentrating into any one thing when it comes to investing. I really like to spread out my risk. I have a very, what's that dude's name? I quote him all the time. Rockefeller. Rockefeller, for instance, he loved his dividends. He loved spreading out his risk, man. The Major General says, keep in mind you do get REITs and VT, but you're not as concentrated in REITs and the VT, though. Now, you're probably wondering, why would I own the Vanguard Total World Index, and why would I own also all these random REITs and all these random ETFs? I mean, well, what's the point of that? And like I keep telling everybody, I like getting paid a dividend every single day. And also, I know what companies are good and what companies are bad for the most part. I mean, I've made a couple mistakes when I first started, but, as somebody who likes to rack up on ETFs and rack up on individual stocks, I'm really more interested in trying to get a dividend payout every single trading day. So as long as my risk is spread out, because I love getting dividends. I look at my portfolio and I'm getting a dividend every day. I have multiple ETFs. I have multiple individual stocks. It's mainly because the dividend payout dates are different for some land on the same day. Some ETFs will pay their dividend on the same day as another ETF. That's possible. But for the most part, because my risk is so spread out that even though each one pays at a certain date during each quarter, I'll at least have the benefit of having so many different ones that pay on different dates in the quarter. So I do, my portfolio really at the end of the day is a cash flow machine. There's constantly cash flowing into it through the dividends. And I'm a long-term investor primarily. 20% of my portfolio, though, is actively traded, swing traded primarily. And the rest of it is buy and hold. 80% is buy and hold. 20% of it is swing trading the VT and swing trading the SBIT. Simple as that. The Major General says exactly, when you buy the REITs, you're concentrating your investment with the idea that REITs will outperform in general at some point. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like real estate's pretty predictable. The demand outweighs the supply majority of the time, and rents increase. And I would say REITs are fairly inflation-proof. Real estate in general is pretty inflation-proof, if you ask me. But spreading out my risk is really important to me. And one of the reasons why I love REITs is just because of the amount of properties that each and every single individual REIT owns. It's wild. Think of Realty Income. They own like 15,000 plus properties. It's insane. Their portfolio of real estate is vast, and they're well diversified. In fact, in some capacity, if I really wanted to, I could put all my net worth into Realty Income and probably sleep well at night. I'm not saying anybody should do that. I'm not even saying that I should. But I'm just saying at the end of the day, I'd probably sleep well at night and get a monthly dividend and retire on that. But I don't believe in concentrating in any one specific thing, one specific sector. I want to be exposed to everything, man. I want to be exposed to everything I can. One moment. BRB, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm having fun with these one-on-one conversations, though. This is cool. All right, the Major General says REITs are an awesome way to invest in real estate as homes become more unaffordable. I think a lot of capital will pour in from people that would have put into their own property. Yeah, here's the thing, man. I hate to say it, but owning a home becomes almost more impossible every day. One of the reasons why I love all my investments is they do provide me with relatively good cash flows. REITs especially. I love the cash flows from REITs. Yeah, it's nice. It's very pleasant, you know. I'm always about the REIT life, man. I gotta see what time it is real quick. But yeah, SBIT's doing pretty good. It's looking all right. Let me see. I actually made a little bit of a profit this morning. I was swing trading it a little bit, and it went down a little bit. I sold at a pretty high price earlier today. So I'm just seeing if it'll dip any further if Bitcoin decides to go on a bull run again. Anytime Bitcoin goes on a bull run, I get kind of sprung because that's when I start betting against it. So, like when Bitcoin starts its ascend up, right? It's ascension, right? It'll go, woo, it's going up and up and up and up. But that's when I love like trickle buying into SBIT because I don't buy a ton of SBIT. As long as Bitcoin's on a bull run, and SBIT's going down, especially if SBIT's going down rapidly, I'm going to buy one share here. And if it goes down again, I buy another few shares. Nothing too crazy. I don't go overboard with it. Mainly because I already own Bitcoin. I got into Bitcoin really early. I think you guys already know this story. But for those who didn't, I got into Bitcoin really early. I never sold. And I still own the Bitcoin. I just keep it in Coinbase, basically. And I just try to make a profit from betting against Bitcoin because I think it's more likely to go down than it is to go up. Just because anything with an intrinsic value of zero eventually goes to zero is the equation, is the theory. So I bet against. I'm very proud to say that I bet against Bitcoin for sure, even though I own Bitcoin. I act like a hedge fund in that way, in a lot of ways. It's not too crazy of a strategy. It's a safe. I wouldn't say it's like perfectly safe, obviously, because Bitcoin could go on a bull run forever. But the reason that I'm protected is because I already own Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin went to $1 million per coin, I'm not going to complain about that. I'll still keep betting against it because I still think Bitcoin's intrinsically worthless, but I'll just keep buying SBIT as it goes down, just so that way I've got the exposure. It would lower the average cost of SBIT, which is nice. And none of this is financial advice, by the way. I don't recommend anybody do this. This is just something that I do, and I'm just sharing my experience with you. I just think that Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, and to me personally, it's like, how often do you have the opportunity to bet against a Ponzi scheme? Is kind of my line of thinking on it. Yeah, the price of Bitcoin could be out of whack for a while, but eventually there are enough suckers out there that you run out of suckers at some point. And that's one of the reasons why I don't go all in on the SBIT, I don't go all in. I don't think it's good to go all in on anything, but I do swing trade the SBIT intentionally. So when SBIT goes down, I buy one share here. If it goes down again, I buy another share of it here. Like I said, my Bitcoin exposure protects me to some degree, and I'm already in the positives in my average cost in SBIT because of how well I've swing traded. So if you swing trade something very well, you end up getting on the positive side of things in the end. But yeah, I'll always be betting against Bitcoin, that's for sure. Even though I own it, I don't plan on. That's one of the things when I'm hedging anything. I do like to make sure that I own whatever it is that I'm hedging against. Major General says, I used to have a Bitcoin club where we used to get restaurants to accept Bitcoin payments. That part I liked. Yeah, Look, I could be wrong about Bitcoin, even though I think it sucks. The transaction times are terrible. I don't think it's the future. I think it's the past, if anything. And in a lot of ways, Bitcoin is a dinosaur in technology aspects because quantum computers are going to be able to crack the entire Bitcoin network like that. So I don't think there's any safety in Bitcoin. I think it's all a scam at the end of the day. Oh. Yeah, quantum computing is a real problem, but I think it's going to be also a big solution. The reason quantum computing is so revolutionary is because what you're looking at, a quantum processor is way better than a standard processor, mainly because it can do all of those calculations at once. I think they did a calculation that would have took thousands and thousands of standard computers years upon years to solve, and a quantum computer was able to solve the problem in less time, far less time. So I can't remember the exact study. All I know is that quantum computers are changing the game. I love quantum theory. I really do. I think it's one of the coolest theories out there. I mean, it's not just a theory anymore. It's pretty much fact. You can use the principles in quantum mechanics in a variety of different applications, it seems. But yeah, once you get to that quantum level, man, once you get smaller and smaller on it, it gets pretty interesting. The Major General says, I still use Bitcoin Cash, which does function better, but not a big community. Quantum will maybe cause a new types of crypto to be possible. I don't know. It doesn't matter how many cryptocurrencies you create. It's not valuable. Like, I know that people want to keep saying that Bitcoin's the future. I just don't believe it. Like, the only thing that Bitcoin's proven to me, or any of these cryptos have proven to me, is that you can get enough suckers to believe anything. And, yeah, it just doesn't have intrinsic value. And the thing is, I mean, I'm still going to hold on to my Bitcoin just in case I'm wrong. Pretty sure I'm right, though. Like, I'm 99.9% sure I'm right about Bitcoin having no intrinsic value, because the more I look into it, the more I look into cryptocurrencies, I'm like, Anytime a new crypto comes out on Robinhood, though, I'll buy $1 worth of that crypto just because it's hilarious to do so. That's just me. I'm a freak. Chris Guthrie says, new crypto equals new scam. That would be a good show title. That's... Chris, can I use that as my next show title? That's actually a very good... That might be my vertical live stream. I'm going to write that down, dude. I got to use that, dude. I'll give you full credit. I'm going to use that for my vertical live stream, actually. Damn, dude, that is one. I like that one, dude. See, that's just a simple, it's new crypto equals new scam. Crypto equals new, I'm writing that down, scam. That's fucking awesome, dude. Thank you. Badass, bro. Badass. And then Nate Dogg says Bathmate coin is legit, though. So, it's funny that I created a whole bunch of stupid meme coins. I'm very ashamed, but I'm also the troll in me had to create meme coins. I have not checked on any of them. We have Garza coin now. It's official. I didn't rug pull anybody, though. I didn't even buy a single one. I didn't buy a single crypto of any of the cryptos I created on Pump.Fun because it's all gay. It's all gay. All right? So what I did, however, I did something very clever. I just made something simple. I think I did, I can't remember what I did. I think I did Ichigo Hentai was one of them. Ichigo Hentai coin was pretty good. I don't think anybody's bought any of these on Pump.Fun. In fact, you know what? Let's go to Pump.Fun right now. I want to see if anybody bought my gay-ass coins, dude. I'd laugh so hard if like one of them went to $1 billion net worth or something like that. I'd be like, fuck. I'm ready to pump, dude. Pump it up. Like a bathmate, yo. Pump it up. Like a bathmate, ho. Pump it up. Like a bathmate, yo. You're right. And the Major General says you're right on Bitcoin, but hard to know when. Absolutely. But Nate Dogg is correct that not financial advice, but I do have faith. I have faith because I've got faith in the bathmate. I'm pumping every single freaking day. I've got faith to queef that I can pump anything I can pump my own prick. No one's gonna bend or break me. I can pump really far. I can pump. Bath-made pumps. I bath-made, then I fart. Here we go. Chris Guthrie says, sure. The Major General says, interesting thought. The periodic table is basically God's quantum chips. Yeah, it's interesting shit. That's a... The periodic table is... So, actually, you know, a crazy... in truth, you know what matter actually is? This is a crazy theory, by the way, and I will say E equals MC squared actually kind of proved this theory, because basically E equal MC squared basically says that light and matter are the same fucking thing. They're just different forms of each other. So, in a sense, matter is frozen light. That was like one of the coolest things to figure out. Matter is frozen light. Wild. Effing wild. Let me check out some of my pump it up like a bathmate. Yo, I'm checking out my coins, you guys. Uh-oh. You guys, I'm very sad to announce that none of my coins, the market caps for my coins, dropped. All right, each coin that I created started with a market cap of $5,400 was the market cap. Get this, the market cap is now $4,600 for each and every meme coin I created. Not one single person bought any of the coins I created on Pump.Fun. Major General said that's a great way to think about it, Garza. I mean, matter is basically really slow light, but it's very concentrated too. I mean, here's the thing. When the universe started, in a lot of theories, the universe started with these levels of energy, right? There was no matter. It was just basically light, heat, everything. Like just very fast moving. Everything was fast moving. And if you think about it, matter in a sense, because it took a while for the universe to calm down, right? It took a long while for the universe to slowly dissipate the heat, right? So, yeah, so what matter essentially is just really just slow light. I guess it's the best way to consider it. But man, it's tough to say how the universe actually happened, you know? Major General says quantum computing will actually lead to the stable creation of upper elements that don't currently exist on Earth. Well, here's the thing, though. It's really tough to create a stable element once you get to a certain proton count. If I remember correctly, I think it starts getting, I think it's, 70, what is the proton count? What is the minimum proton count for unstable atoms? For an unstable atom. ChatGPT. 'Cause, 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 ' Okay, here we go. So all atoms with more than 83 protons are unstable. This is because the repulsive forces between the large number of protons cannot be overcome by the strong nuclear force, even with a sufficient number of neutrons. So here's the thing. One of the big deals on this is that when the nucleus, which we still don't fully understand the nucleus, by the way, of an atom, we still don't. All we know is that the nucleus somehow keeps the protons from repelling away from each other, right? So that's why the protons can be as close as they are together without, because, you know, anything with a similar charge is going to repel, right? And so protons naturally, because they have the same charge, if they were away from a nucleus and it was just protons, they would go away from each other. So in that situation, when the nucleus can only do so much. Now, the question would be this: is it possible to create a stronger nucleus? That's an interesting scenario to think about. What if there's a way, and I don't know how this would even be possible because we don't understand the nucleus very well unless there's new science that I haven't read up on. But what if there's a way to make the nucleus stronger? To make it to where you can have more protons in a single element? That would be interesting. That would be kind of cool. Now, for the life of me, I've got zero clue on how to make the nucleus stronger. Pretty sure scientists have tried to come up with some way of doing this to no avail. Give me one moment, though. I'm making a sandwich real quick. So the Major General is saying, yes, think of a stable element, something that has a decay rate as longer than observably possible. Yep. That's crazy, man. It's all too crazy. One curiosity I've always had is how consistent are the laws of physics in other galaxies, for example. You know? I mean, we know what the laws of physics are for us within our own solar system, but I wonder if the laws of reality change. Probably not. I would like to believe that a lot of the laws that we see here on Earth and in our solar system still apply everywhere else. But then again, as Neil deGrasse Tyson said, the universe is under no obligation to make sense to us. And that's true. Chris says, stuff y'all are talking about is a good beginning to a horror disaster movie. Absolutely. It is possible that there consists intelligent life that is of very organized energy. You know, it's a very good possibility. Well, not necessarily, Chris. I think there's a lot of beauty to understanding reality. You know, it's kind of nice. I think once you realize how small you actually are, you don't feel the pressure that you felt before. You know, a lot of that pressure just seems to go away, which is a good thing. Major General says what's funny is that they live so long, they try to die as a hobby. Well, I mean, if you do live a very expanded life, you know, at what point does it get tiresome? That is a good question. People who made humans. No. Well, I don't really know if we're a happy accident or if we have a creator. I've still wrestled with that, to be honest. You know what I mean? I've wrestled with that. I don't know why, but I've often wondered how much of our existence is chaotic design versus intelligent design, and it's wild. I get curious though. I mean, reality is trippy. And it is possible that maybe we don't understand the vast nature of the universe because maybe our brains just don't have that ability. I've considered that possibility too. That's something I've thought about. Like, our minds somehow just don't have the full ability, even if the answers were technically laid out right in front of us. I don't know if we have the full capacity to be able to understand the true nature of whatever the universe is, and maybe the nature is that it just is, you know? It's an interesting thought. Are you saying that somehow I created this vessel for myself? Or are you saying that I created this reality for myself? That's a interesting take. It's a very interesting take. I got to admit. Sometimes, you know, where my life has led just sometimes doesn't always feel so real. In a good way, though. It's kind of interesting. It's tough to explain. Chris says, I believe my mom and dad's version of events. All right. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, you know, it is possible that we are just a happy accident, but it is also possible that we have a creator that maybe, I don't know. There's also the theory that, you know, aliens came down here and basically inseminated apes. That's an interesting theory. It's one that I kind of cling to a little bit, but not fully. It's friggin' wild, though, man. All I know is that I do try to think the best thoughts I can to try to make my own reality as good as it can be. I think I'm pretty content with where my life's... I wouldn't say content, but I'm satisfied with how it turned out. Let's just say my life turned out way better than I thought it would have. Like, I obviously set bigger goals for myself, which is a big thing, which is a big deal. And I've met a lot of those goals, without a doubt. One of the big things for me, though, is just being able to be able to talk to you guys right here, right now. And it's a great thing, man. The Major General says, Garza, if you ignore a creator, you are not part of the biological entity. You are a ghost. Now, who created the ghost? That's a tough one. It's tough to say. It's very tough to say. And, you know, it's one of those things that if we had the answer to it, what would we do with it? Right? You know, we always ask the question, it's like, well, you know, if there is a God, who created God, that sort of thing, you know? And what would we do with that? Like, let's say we did find out what the answer to that actually is, right? Like, who created God? Who created that God? Who created that God? Was it chaos that created God? And then through that chaos that God was created from, God created another version of himself. You know? Is it possible that God himself was an emergent property of chaotic randomness? Possibly. Is it possible that we are the product of chaotic randomness? I don't know that one. I just don't know. What I do know is that even if we did have the answer to that, like what would we do with it? What could we do with it? Do we need the answers? Do we need an answer for every single question? I don't think so. I think it's nice to try to understand the nature of our existence. Men and women alike have been wrestling with that question for years. I'm very thankful that I have the ability to ask that question and contemplate it, without a doubt. I think it's a little overwhelming. I'll admit that. Cheers. Spilled some coffee on me. So I'll be doing another live stream in a few. I think I'm going to end this one. Any last questions anybody wants to ask? Anything at all, try to answer whatever questions come on here. Major General says, I think we as ghosts are hypnotically in a decentralized way. Let's see, creating matter. If you woke up of the dream, you could probably just leave, but then you might miss the game hypnotically. Give me some interesting stuff to think about, the Major General. I appreciate it. Don't know how much I can refute it. Don't know how much I can prove it, but it's some interesting thoughts, my brony. I appreciate it. Thanks for gifting the memberships, dude. Sprout just received a gift membership from the Major General. Thank you, the Major General, for that. Now, you guys are probably wondering, where's the Chris Hansen laugh out loud thing at? Well, I want to let you know the Chris Hansen laugh out loud thing is not actually a feature in OBS. In regular OBS, that is. So that's one of the reasons why I use Streamlabs for vertical. Just ideas, not dogma, bro. True that, my man. All right, well, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I do plan on doing some more live streams here in a bit. I just need to... It's going to probably put a pizza in the oven and then kind of regain my thoughts a little bit. I'll try to go live here maybe in a we'll see where I'm feeling. I do need to... I got up pretty early this morning because we took Misty to the vet. She's, by the way, I want to let everybody know, and I'm very relieved about this, she's very well. We have her on antibiotics. It's most likely a UTI, is what they figured out. So we have her on antibiotics. She'll be on those for a few days. She's such a good kitty. She's the best kitty, and we love her. But yeah, it's good that she's feeling better. She's gonna be feeling better, and Brittany was able to give her some antibiotics, which is nice today after they got back from the vet. But I was down there. I was making sure, making sure Brittany was caffeinated and stuff. Made sure I looked after Misty for a bit while she filled out the paperwork and stuff for Misty because she knows that cat better than anybody. But yeah, it was good. So I'll probably be live here probably within about an hour. I'm going to shoot for 3:30. And that's 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, by the way. So that's about an hour from now. Now, I may stream earlier, so keep that in mind. So if you guys want, keep your notifications on if you want to get notified when I'm live streaming again. But yeah, this was actually kind of fun doing this little REIT, doing the top 20, my 20 favorite REITs of all time. This is pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna relax. I'm probably gonna cook a pizza, read a book for a little bit, kind of just. When we took Misty into the vet, I was very nervous today, very, very nervous, man. Some version of Rick and Morty meets the Matrix of spiritual twist. I'm probably not going to watch Monday Night Football tonight. I think I'm just going to keep up with the score. I'm going to try to live stream as much as possible tonight. But I might react to the game during the vertical live stream. Now the next stream is going to be vertical. It's not going to be horizontal, but I am trying to do at least one every day. I'm trying to do at least one horizontal live stream, just because they do bring in an audience, and it works out in the best way possible. But I do want to thank everybody first off, I'm glad we got 2 new members today. We got to give a big shout out to the Major General. Major General also provided a super chat, which is fantastic. I want to thank him for that. Hey, everybody's incredible. Anyway, sorry for the long goodbye. I'll see you guys probably around 3:30, all right? See you soon enough. Bye. Bye for now.